find the ring among the rubble and you can call the king your friend. Welcome to Gamage Facts, and today we look at the 10 longest Assassin's Creed games to beat. I don't have time for games, which is a shame because I was hoping you guys would play one with me for this list. This list is primarily based on how long it takes to play through the main storylines, but also how much sacrifice is expected of completists to finish everything. Which Assassin's Creed game have you played the longest? Let's know in the comments before we start. We post new content throughout the week, so subscribe and ring the bell to be notified of our latest videos. Assassin's Creed Revelations: The End of Ezio. The setting is Constantinople, where Ezio arrives to find Altair's memory and access the vault containing an Apple of Eden. The much simpler main story and the smaller size of the city reduce the game time compared to previous parts, but players who want to finish the game can take up to 35 hours if they want to achieve everything. This includes completing Desmond's present-day puzzle sequences, crafting the many types of bombs Ezio has in his possession, and removing all the Templar gifts from Constantinople. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. It's good to be home. Howie's mother is well. I heard you were returning, but I'm glad to see it with my own eyes. The first game in Brotherhood is the first game in the series to make a location the main setting. It's about Ezio's stay in Rome, where he's trying to eliminate Chester Borja's influence. There are a variety of characters who are part of Ezio's allies with the goal of creating an assassin stronghold in the city by recruiting new members. The conspiracy behind the power struggle for Rome and Ezio's fight for leadership sets the main campaign at about 15 hours. We now know the names of several Templar agents that Cesare has recruited to terrorize Rome. How do I find them? Completionists can spend much more time playing the elements such as completing assassination missions and playing Ezio's sequences with repressed memories. Increase the game time up to 41 hours. It takes quite a while to turn newcomers into masters, and dedicated players need to take their time to play through Assassin's Creed 3. Who are you? Hatham Kenway. Not your service. The game's story is set at the time of the American Revolution and spans 30 years. Eurita's father and son, Team Hatham and Connor Kenway, are playable. Despite the expansive setting, the main storyline is generally skipped and can be completed in about 16 hours. The open-world aspect is what significantly extends Assassin's Creed 3's playtime, as the open world is filled with additional content. It's the first time players have had the opportunity to guide Connor through enemy territory. Hunting and expanding Connor's homestead is the primary way to complete all of Connor's side quests. Ultimately, players who want to complete the game will need about 56 hours to fully explore the open world and finish Connor's adventure from start to finish. I want him to be punished. Our interests lie on a line. Assassin's Creed Unity. To this I had of course one, but on the web no invitation, no entry. Now clear the queue. Next please. Widely regarded as the weakest entry in terms of quality, Unity nevertheless has a lot of material for players. They can immerse themselves in. It's set in Paris during the French Revolution. Its plot revolves around Arnaud Dorian uncovering the conspiracy behind the main campaign. Lasts about 17 hours, and the game time is extended by the fact that players have to infiltrate large areas in the missions to complete the objectives. Of course, it's the additional content that makes it a great game, as Unity's co-op feature lasts a long time. The missions are narrative-driven and contribute to a potential 78 hours of playtime. Assassin's Creed Syndicate. London must be liberated to provide a better future for all its citizens. Thank God the Council has shown insight and sent you to help us. Yes, thank God the negative response to the predecessor has led to a greater focus on the story in Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Twins Jacob and Evie Fry try to take down the Templars as a crime syndicate in Victorian London. The protagonists must navigate through 7 boroughs. Despite the longer gameplay time, which is generally around 18.5 hours, the game had the largest map in the series to offer. Evie requires a sneaky approach, while Jacob is best suited for sequences that involve fighting. If you want to complete the game, it should take you about 53 hours to conquer all the caves. The reappearance of defeated enemies is a good reason to play through the game again. Assassin's Creed 2. I assume that these misadventures won't interfere with your work today. No. Padres is considered by many fans and critics to be the best game in the series. Assassin's Creed 2 stands out primarily for its detailed storyline. It remains one of the most compelling main campaigns for games at the time of its release, with a general playthrough time of about 19 hours. It begins Ezio's adventure. The map contains the 6 locations of Venice, Florence, Monteriggioni, San Gimignano, and Tuscany. Each location is relevant to the story. We have to be on the spot to make sure that Juliano even gets up in church tomorrow. Completers should take about 35 hours to find everything there is to find, such as the Codex pages, the tombs of the assassins, and the transformation of Monteriggioni into a thriving community. That's enough gloomy talk for one night. I'll be in my study if you need me. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. Forgive me for being cautious, but were you able to salvage from those pirates the items you promised me? Yes, sir. I have reworked the gameplay to encourage players to explore the world in a more practical way. This game emphasizes sea missions. Most of the experience involves leading Edward Kenway across the sea during the golden age of piracy, where he becomes involved with the Assassin Brotherhood. The main campaign usually lasts about 23 hours. Telling the story with well-known pirates like Blackbeard, Mary Read, and Bonnie. Next time you knock in a series, I'm on the duck. The modern elements also take some time, as the player controls an Abstergo operative to uncover the Templar schemes. Side quests are the most important parts of the overall experience, so battles to capture pieces of land and destroy powerful ships, as well as boss fights, are regular occurrences. It can take up to 60 hours to fully enjoy life as a pirate in what is arguably the most creative entry in Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed Origins. I see you've made new friends. They've planned an ambush. It's good. I've come to welcome you. How Origins represents a pivotal point in a series, in which the open world became a real selling point for each game. It's set in Ptolemaic Egypt, where the player controls Magi Bayek, who wants to take revenge on the man who caused his son's death. The story campaign takes a detailed look at how the future Brotherhood was formed, with Bayek and his estranged wife Amunet forming the Hidden Ones. As part of the gameplay, we have to hunt down all of Bayek's targets, which can even extend beyond the main storyline. The core campaign lasts about 30 hours in total, during which players control Bayek across Egypt. Origins' more extensive side material includes gladiator quests, raiding pyramids, battles against legendary monsters, and more, all of which contribute to players spending around 83 hours to complete the game. However, players usually spend more time on repeated playthroughs at Asadi, in which players have the choice of controlling either Alexios or Cassandra, although Cassandra is the canonical main character. The story takes place during the Polybian War and is about Cassandra's attempt to reunite her family. The story takes place in the Greek city. The main campaign of States Odyssey is a huge undertaking because of the many decisions that distinguish one scenario from another. They killed our brothers, our neighbors. We survived the massacre, but he'll kill us now. The gods have abandoned us. The sick must join the dead if we're to save the living. For this reason, players must return to earlier moments to unlock different endings. All in all, the story takes about 43 hours in its entirety, but actually completing the game is another matter, since to take down the Cult of the Cosmos you'll have to fully improve your skill tree through the open-world experiences, which means that the entire game can take up to 130 hours or more. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. You'll have a greater impact on the kingdoms of England, and you'll have more medallions to count accurately, since the main character is taken to a different settlement every time a new story starts. Valhalla was designed so that the campaign devotes more than a few hours to each story arc. It can take about 50 to 60 hours to complete the story, but sequences set in Norse mythology can stretch that even further. Players control Ivor, which has so many RPG elements in its story that it takes several playthroughs to see how many scenarios are possible. Then I'll tell you that you have nothing in your skull. A good answer. Valhalla's open world is the most massive of the series, even stretching across the entire British island during the Viking expansions. The long time it takes to finish the game is also a point against Valhalla, as you simply have to run around too much to see everything. All in all, it can take up to 135 hours if you want to finish the game, and even then you might still have to consider some scenarios. Subscribe to our channel and wait for our new videos, friends.